I mean, it logistically does not make sense to my competitive mind. And so this inclusivity problem that we have in college football and in the modern day of sports in general has allowed us to place these G5 schools. And again, you've heard this around the world too. I have nothing against Tulane and JMU. I've got no ill will towards them, but let's be honest with ourselves. We all know this. They're going to get crushed. They're going to get absolutely slammed into the turf, and it's going to be, no one's going to want to watch those games. But if you were to remove that rule from college football and say, well, we're just going to do at large, 5 through 12 at large. We want the best teams playing the best teams in the playoffs. You would have had Notre Dame. You would have had BYU. And then Vanderbilt and Texas would have been the guys on the outside looking in, most likely. Or Vanderbilt might have got in, or Texas might have had enough room to get in because they had some leeway. But, that's another drastic example we can get into in the offseason about how Texas is probably not, or these teams are canceling these non-conference big-time matchups because there's no benefit. They'd rather just throw in another G5 school to kick the shit out of in weeks 1 through 3 than go on the road to Ohio State and prove they can play with the big dogs. So there's no point. That's another underlying problem with college football that it's just blatantly obvious to fix. So, yeah, I mean, there's a portion of this college football playoff that is just not appealing to the fan. It's not appealing to the product, and it's an issue that has to get resolved next year. Like, they need to be working on that yesterday. So, in terms of that, I'm very, very discouraged in how it all turned out, and I even have problems with the seeding with Oregon and Ole Miss over Texas A&M. I thought Texas A&M played a far tougher schedule than Oregon. I thought Ole Miss had a far greater season than Oregon, but they lost their head coach. So why is Ole Miss over Texas A&M? Oh, wait, they didn't play one another, so we don't know. We can't tell. But we do know, the only ones we do know, it looks right on the screen because Oklahoma beat Alabama. We're going to have Oklahoma number 8 and Alabama number 9 because that makes sense. There was a head-to-head there. We got lucky with that one. So it's like, it makes no justifiable sense. Again, I told you, we're going to be cross-referencing the problems that I mentioned in the first 20 minutes with the current college football playoff selection process. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to cover with that. But, next week, I know Army-Navy is this upcoming weekend, and then the next weekend is the first round of the playoffs, but we'll get into predictions next week. But I had to put my focus on the problems and the solutions we must provide to make the quality of football and college athletics better. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, in terms of my team, if you're a Texas A&M Aggie, you're a little discouraged on where we landed. Yes, I do believe that every team should be playing the best teams, and you have to beat the best to play the best. But you're looking at you're like, oh man, you really have to play your best football for 3 or 4 weeks, and that's everything you want in a team. It's blatantly obvious that A&M has the toughest path to the national championship. So my expectations are 100% set.